Well, hello there, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel, Boomy Reactions. I am Boomy. Hello, hello. Now, today, I would like to share another Kent Rollins video with y'all. I am enjoying getting through his library of videos and recipes so much. It's just good, old-fashioned, wholesome, rather, watching, isn't it? He's just lovely. Oh, no, I really enjoy watching these videos. So today, everybody, we're going to be catching up with Kent, and he is going to be showing us how to make red eye gravy with ham steak. Now, you know what I'm going to say. I have no idea what this is. So this comes as a request from my wonderful supporter and friend, Skip. Thank you so much for requesting this, Skip. I know we were chatting all things ham, steak and red-eyed gravy quite a while ago now. It seems like ages ago. So, right, what's the red-eyed part of the gravy? I'm not too sure. So the ham steak, I can't imagine what part of the pig this ham steak is going to be coming from. When we think of ham steak here in the UK, we think of gammon steak. It's a generational favourite. We all love a bit of gammon with a fried egg or gammon with a pineapple, whichever way you like it. Delicious. So I'm thinking it's going to be a similar cut. But now, Skip, I believe you mentioned that there was a bone in the ham steak, like a marrow-filled bone. So we don't, to my knowledge, we don't have gammon that's sold like that in the UK. So maybe that makes me think it's a different part of the pig. Let's see if Kent will tell us, shed a little bit of light on that. Now, another thing. So I'm not going in completely blind. Like I say, I've been chatting away with the lovely Skip. And now, Skip, you mentioned one word which made me raise my eyebrow. And I had to double take because I didn't know whether it was a typo or a spelling mistake. So I believe this gravy is made with coffee. Really? That's crazy. I've never heard of coffee being used in any kind of savoury way like this. So to me, it sounds really interesting. So how do you make, so that coffee's going to have that really rich, almost bitter, smoky kind of flavour to it. How would you incorporate that into a gravy? It's bonkers. It is. It's nutty. It's bonkers. So let's see. I'm sure Kent is going to give us the most fabulous recipe ever. I believe as well, this recipe is in Kent's wonderful cookbook, and that's where my friend Skip spotted it. It brought back quite a lot of memories for Skip, and maybe for a few of you as well. So if you haven't already got this cookbook, I highly recommend it. Brilliant recipes, especially. So I'm following these recipes as a non-American, and I'm not having any issues whatsoever. Maybe outside of getting hold of some of the ingredients. But the recipes are well written. You know, they're practiced. They're almost like idiot proof, really. You know, if a non-American can cook them very straightforward, then I think anybody can. So yes, fabulous recipes. If you're in the market for a cookbook, I highly recommend Kent Rollins. It's fabulous. Anyway, done an awful lot of chitter-chattering, as I do. You know me, guys. And as ever, if you're enjoying these reactions, please like and subscribe to my channel if you could be so kind. If you are interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee. The link is here. And if you're interested in supporting my channel any further, I have a Patreon, and the details are in the link in the description below. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's watch Kent. Here he is.
Book, and what are we coming up with? Gravy. What?
Oh,
red eye gravy. I'm talking with ham steak.
Yes.
What's it made with? Coffee. Yeah, you heard me right. Coffee is going in there with it, going to give it a rich red color. Come on, I'll get the pot boiling, and I'm going to teach you a history lesson as well.
Red colour, is that where the red element comes from? Okay. I think I understand now. I was thinking, is there like a red eye? Is it like the bone in the steak?
Hey, thank y'all for stopping by camp, and whoo, what a glorious day it is, because what?
Getting the
We're
fire
going back
hot.
in history. We are. I do
Kent's
love these whole historical pieces. You don't have to watch the History Channel. Turn that knob on over. Yep, whoop, go back. Yep, Cowboy Kent Rollins right there on YouTube.
That is my favourite thing about Kent Rollins and this show. We get a little history lesson, an insight into the origins of these recipes and how Cookie would have made them. And I find it so interesting. But it's not all about the history, because these recipes, I can say, you know, speaking from experience as well, these recipes are delicious. And I think they're modernized a little bit, obviously. We're much more able to get a lot more ingredients, aren't we, than Cookie would have had cooking on the range. So brilliant. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I want you to know everything that we're using today, everything you need to know. Andy and Shan always got you fixed up. There's a little link right down there where you can find out from the clothes I wear to the equipment I use. So, some of y'all been asking, where you be getting your shirts
I need to know where his prints
and your
from.
boots? Can y'all do that on your kitchen table? Make sure your feet's clean before you do.
I was gonna say.
Good folks at Ariat, they keep me looking good. There is a link to where you can go. Cowboy Kent Rollins page over there on Ariat. You can look like me, swab, and debonair every day, but let's get back to history. I'm talking hard times was upon a lot of people when you was having red-eye gravy. Now, some of you is already, I can hear you out there saying, well, red-eye gravy and sawmill gravy, that's the same thing. Sawmill gravy, which came along later than this, was made in the old logging camps, and the cook would make it, cut saws running them all day, and you get that pile of sawdust that's flossed right down under them logs. Well, if that gravy they was having that morning was really thick, they'd have claimed the cook had done put a bunch of that sawdust in there. Well, red-eye gravy is totally different. Now let's talk about, let me see, go way back, turn the pages, rewind, 1812. Yep, that's where we're starting. We are. Colonel Andrew Jackson, or Old Hickory as we called him, he was there in camp, and he had a cook who had got into corn squeezins, also known as moonshine and sometimes known as the mule, because it done kicked him. And he come walking in there that morning and asked Old Hickory, what would you be liking for breakfast? Well, legend has it that old Andrew looked over there at him, and the cook's old eyes was bloodshot so bad. And he said, I'll have some gravy as red as your eyes with some ham. But another means that it come about, and you can see it sometimes, the coffee and the grease that is coming off that ham tend to separate, and the coffee sort of makes a red circle in the middle, and when you look down in there, there's something looking back at you, sort of like the Twilight Zone. It scares me, it does. I was a little bit skeptical, because all them old timers used to ask me for it on ranches, and I just didn't like to make it. But folks, I'm telling you, this stuff is fit to eat, because I done put me some biscuits in there. It is good. So y'all meet me over here at the fire and we'll get to going. Can y'all hear that sound? That is a good sound, it is. That is some ham steak. And you seen me go ahead and cut them edges just a little. That's so it don't go to try to curling up. Now, there's different kinds of ham steak. There's fresh and there's cured. Now, this is cured, and it's got a little salt cure to it and a little smoke cure both. Back in the day, Civil War days especially, everything was salt cured. Now, that old ham be really salty, and it would probably make more grease back then than it does now. So we're gonna go ahead and fry this ham about 4 to 5 minutes each side, because I want it to get some really good color and try to leach out some of that good flavor back into that skillet, because we gotta have it when we go to making that roux. Now folks, we cook this about 4 to 5 minutes a side. Now remember, this is a salt cured, smoke cured ham that's already been cooked. So really we're just browning it back through. So it's time for it to come over here to the cool side it is, and we're gonna get it out there, because we gotta let our skillet cool, and we gotta let this ham steak sit over here and cool just a little bit, because it's gonna make a little more liquid. Now normally back in Civil War time, there'd have been a whole lot of them drippings just remained in that skillet. And guess what? All that I had to do was add flour and coffee. That's it. Red-eye gravy, you're through. But folks, we have changed it up just a little, because we don't have enough grease in there, and I want to make me a better roux. So guess what?
Get some butter
We're going to add us some butter.
Yeah.
Because who don't like some butter?
Exactly.
And some bacon grease.
Okay.
Take your wooden spatula. What, you ain't got one? Well, y'all know where you can find one. And folks, you know gravy is always made with milk, right? I don't think there was a milk cow nowhere close by when red-eye gravy come about. So what was it again? Coffee. Hey, you're going to love it. It is good for breakfast, but also it makes good red-eye gravy.
Do you know what's interesting, Kent saying that? So here in the UK, traditionally we don't make our gravy with milk, like I've mentioned a few times. So gravy for us, it's made with a beef stock or the meat juices. So it's brown in colour, quite a deep brown as well. But for the moisture, the liquid that we would add to our gravy, I was brought up to add the potato water to my gravy to make the roux. So normally you'd have some kind of potato dish that was going along with the gravy. So when you parboil the potatoes, you reserved the water that the potatoes were being boiled with, and you're left with this wonderfully salty, starchy kind of water. And then that was added to the gravy. So you didn't need to season it either, because you were adding this very salty water. And just wondered. So normally you guys would add milk to your gravy. I'm thinking of the white gravy that you have with biscuits, the sausage gravy. So Kent is saying that at this point you would be adding coffee to the gravy, which I suppose is quite similar to the way that we would make gravy, except it's not just water, it's coffee. So not too foreign to us here, us Brits here in the UK.
It does. Make sure you got some brewing, and you got to have it, so make sure it's hot, because it's going to help. 2 to 3 tablespoons of flour, and I ask you just to sift her in there somewhere.
I like
We're
that.
going to call that probably pretty close to 3. And guess what, Andy? It happens every video. I've got to be gone to get something. Well, remember in them gravy making videos, I told you you'd be needing one of these. It's not a fly swatter, it is a spatula with holes in it, because you can get them lumps in it. Now see the color that roux is already turning? I want you to let that roux come to just a little simmer, I do. And you may have to rotate your skillet around a little to even out the hot spots on your fire. But if you're in the house, you ought not be having no problem. But make sure you get all them drippings scraped up back in there, because that's where we're getting a lot of this flavor. It needs some coffee, because I have got me some simmering going on here, and you begin to see that shimmer, so we don't want to lose that. Now it calls for about 1 cup to 1.5 cups, which would be about 12 ounces if you're using 1.5 cups. So we're just going to start with a little and just go from there. Just keep stirring, bring that back to a boil. You can see as it begins to thicken up a little, just add you some more in there. A little more of that, because folks, there's a lot of flavor coming out of there. And
So what's weird is that this looks more like gravy to a British person. I recognize this.
Guarantee you on them ranches, all them old timers used to ask me every morning, "Hey Kent, you gonna fix some red-eye gravy?" I say, no, I ain't that fond of it. Oh. Well folks, I'm telling you now, I'm really fond of it, because this stuff, time you pour it back on a piece of that ham, get you some biscuits, because it was always called, what? Sopping. You know how to sop, don't you, Shen? You take a biscuit, tear it in half, put it down in there, what's that called?
A mop up the gravy?
Yes, it ain't dipping, it is sopping.
Oh.
Now, however you like the consistency of your gravy, but I'm gonna let this thicken up just a little. That's smoother than Frank Sinatra right there. But at this point, you remember them drippings that we had? I need you to be pouring them in there. Because folks, that is some of that there great flavor that we need. Go ahead and stir her back in there. Let her come back to a boil.
I love the way he says that. Yes. Recognize that gravy. What about the coffee? Like, how strong is the coffee flavour in this gravy? I like coffee, so I can't imagine it's a pleasant taste. I'll have to make some. Would you only have this with ham? Would you have it with other things as well? Ooh, that looks
You ever seen
lovely.
nobody pour gravy like that? I mean, that's what you call the pour back and forth. And folk, look at that good color. Don't that look delicious? I like to just go ahead and cut. Whoa! Finally showed up, did you, Dookie? Well, folks, The beak has been out here the whole time, so I guess I better feed my help first before I even do anything else. Thank you, Beak, for always helping. Duke, you're pretty lazy, buddies, but you go ahead on there. We appreciate you. So let me get my bite.
Kent has the best recipe for biscuits.
Oh my God. Going to the hoot to nanny. Going to the hoot a nanny. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you, maybe all them old timers was right so many years ago when I was cooking for them ranches, because let me tell you, that is divine right there. It is. Because you be thinking bitter, burnt coffee taste sort of when you got it in there. You know, with all them good ham drippings that's in there, and then you take that butter and that bacon grease and fold her back in there, make you a roux. Little pepper's all it needs, because like I say, it has got plenty of salt. Now it's time to do a little sopping.
A supper.
That's what it was called a lot of times, was sopping.
Sopping.
Y'all need a little sopping?
Aww.
What do you think? Big says too hot to wag tails. Well, folks, it's a done deal, it is, and I hope y'all enjoyed it, because we sure did. But as always, I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women, all the veterans who have kept that old flag a-flying in camp, wherever me and Shan and the Beagle and Duke may be. We appreciate you one and all. And folks, I want to thank y'all, because we've had a lot more people tuning in here lately. Subscriber count has jumped up. I appreciate you sharing them videos with all your friends and neighbors, because that's what it's about, folks. Let's share the good time, the fellowship, the food, and let's all be happy, because remember that song, Shan? Be happy, don't worry. So,
eat gravy.
Eat red-eye gravy. Now, folks, remember, my Ariat clothing and the recipe, it's all listed right down there below. So, whoo, I'll see you next week when you're tuning in down the what? The red-eye gravy trail. Nanny, a hoot nanny.
Well, I just don't.
Oh, Kent, you long-winded.
And Duke wants a bite.
What?
Oh, I do enjoy his little blooper reels at the end there. Oh my gosh. Right. Well, that looks undeniably delicious. It looks very, very tasty. I think I'm going to have to try and make this. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to be able to source the ham. I think that looks like gammon. It looks like a gammon joint, but maybe the bone's taken out, possibly. It looks very similar. It looks bigger, actually. It's really, really big. So I'm not sure about sourcing this in the UK. Maybe I have to go and ask my local butcher. I'm sure they'll be able to give me a hand. But oh my gosh, that looked so, so good. I think you need the bone in there, don't you? You need that for the marrow, for a lot of that flavouring, adding it back into the gravy at the end. Okay, I'm not really sure what I was expecting with the whole red-eyed gravy. It makes so much more sense. I like Kent's story about it at the beginning of this episode there. I love a history lesson. And when you have a history lesson combined with a lovely looking recipe, I'm in heaven. Brilliant, brilliant TV. I'm thoroughly entertained. Right, yes, I'm definitely going to have to make this. It looks delicious. Guys, do you always have this with your ham, with ham steak, or would you have it with anything else? Does it have to exclusively be, bento. Does it exclusively have to be with the ham because maybe it just pairs really, really well with that salty, strong ham flavour? What do you think? Interesting. I love these more kind of old-fashioned recipes. I love chefs that can come and bring them back and reintroduce them to generations that have never even heard of recipes like this. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing because they're remembered for a reason, and it's normally because they're very, very tasty. And then it's kind of, I don't know, it's tragic that more recent generations don't get a chance to experience them because they've kind of fallen out of recent memory. So I love these videos. Thank you so much, Kent. Really enjoy watching him. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.